Hi, today I'm at the Domain Hotel with two legends from the world of TV sport punditry, Mr. Andy Gray and Mr. Richard Keys, the football sport commentary equivalent of Ant and Dec or Bert and Ernie. Andy Gray is a footballing legend, having played for 20 years for such teams as Everton, Aston Villa, as well as the Scottish national team. Richard Keys is a veteran of TV and has worked on almost every TV channel that I've ever heard of, and is an honorary Doctor of Letters at Coventry University. They've worked together for over 20 years, mostly on Sky Sports, but they're now in Qatar, working for Al Jazeera and beIN Sport. Guys, firstly, thank you very much for giving me your time.
Pleasure. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to be here.
Is it first time in Bahrain?
Yes, first time. It was my first time in Qatar when we arrived last July, and 9 months later we've had the opportunity, obviously, to pop over to Bahrain and spend the night here and see some folks, and really looking forward to it.
Excellent.
Mind you, it was a very close thing.
Yes, they almost didn't let you in the country.
They almost did.
Just because they knew who you were.
Yes, that may have had something to do with
Okay.
it. Funnily we are here.
So next time, masks and disguises, false, you know. Now, here to do a gentleman's evening at the British Club. What does that involve? 'Cause I know you've done some after dinner speaking and events like this. What do you actually do?
Well, what we actually do is we get up there, and we're up there for about an hour and a quarter. We'll okay, maybe 45 minutes.
Maybe
that well.
But what we'll do is Richard normally goes up and starts it all off for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll go up and join him, and we'll regale the audience with some of our experiences, shall I say, in television and football. Hopefully funny enough to make people laugh, and I think we will. And ask people maybe in the last 20 minutes, half hour, if there's anything they'd like to ask us. Yeah. Then feel free. It's an open house.
And they can ask anything they like. Nothing's off the table.
They can ask anything they want. It doesn't
Whether the
necessarily
lawyers
mean they'll get an answer. They can ask whatever they like.
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
true.
obviously a difference between those two things.
Yes.
By the way, I've heard it, and I think it's funny. So
Okay,
that's
well,
a guide.
then now you've been working together. Is it over 22 years?
20, yes, 22 years.
Tell us the circumstances of how you met and where.
Very
and
unfortunate,
when.
really.
Yeah, it's worse for me.
We were thrown together at an embryonic satellite company, BSB as it was, British Satellite Broadcast.
Right. Yes, I just about.
Andy's career had come to an end.
Yeah. Sorry.
It was argued when I joined them, so had mine.
That's fair.
They were probably right. And it's grown from there, really. BSB was taken over by Sky, and everybody, I think, knows the extraordinary circumstances under which we left Sky. Andy, unfortunately, was sacked, and I resigned 24 hours later.
Yes.
Before he was sacked.
You fell on the sword before.
And we're very happy, I have to say, in fact delighted. I mean, 2 fantastic years in the radio, and now we find ourselves in Qatar, and delighted to be here. Really, really, really enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, I've read that from interviews that you've had.
I was just working out. It's February 1990 we started at BSB, so it's over 24 years. Yeah. Wow. I deserve a medal.
You do get less for murder, don't you? So how did you start actually working together? They put you two together as commentators?
No, I was always going to be commentator. Martin Tyler was brought in, and he's still there, Martin. And Richard was obviously brought in to host the broadcast from studio. That would be it. And for 22 years he did that, and for 22 years I did what I did. So we were thrown together like that. But I used to do quite a lot of studio with Richard pre-match in a lot of the games. So I was always in there early as well. So we got to know each other fairly quickly and fairly well.
Okay. How would you describe your working relationship? And it's obvious that you get on even from interviews. You're very nice about each other. How would you describe the relationship
Not sure
that you have?
Have you read all my interviews?
As many as I could find. Wow. I was too busy looking at some of the great hairstyles that you had in the early 80s, which we'll come back to.
It's been genuinely, it's been an absolute pleasure. I said when I came to this part of the world, there is nobody I'd rather be here with. However it was that our time at Sky came to an end, it shouldn't have ended like that. It was a wonderful, wonderful ride. It shouldn't have ended in the way it did, but that was their doing and choice rather than ours. And it's been a really good 9 months since we came here.
Yeah.
I listen, we're two very different people, polar opposites. I'm dull. He's the life and soul of the party. For some reason, when we get together, it just
creates some magic.
works.
Yes.
I don't know how. I really don't know how.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, the thing about working with Keezy is that, without a doubt, there are the presenters have come and the presenters have gone, and I've worked with most of them over the last 30 years. Even when I played, I worked with a lot of them. And listen, without saving his blushes, he's been the best for 25 years. Continues to be the best, in my opinion. There's no one to touch him back in the UK in presenting live football. No one to touch him. and that's why I enjoy working. I don't want his job. He doesn't want mine.
No.
I couldn't do his job. He couldn't do mine.
No.
And I think that's another part of the success that we have together.
Yeah, I've certainly seen in interviews, certainly from you, Richard, that no regrets about how it ended at Sky, and you really are very happy in Qatar.
My only regret is, as I say, that it ended as it did. It shouldn't have done, but that wasn't our choice. What was inevitable was that it was going to end, and it probably would have done by now through a natural process. So then we would have been in a position whereby we were looking to start now what we have done these past 2 or 3 years, which is another career. I thoroughly enjoyed the radio. I had previously worked in radio, and he hadn't, but typically adapted to it, I mean, really well. It was see,
that's where see,
that's your phone here. Hold that.
It's not mine. It's not yours. Quick check there. Ruin your flow
we
there.
had 2 fantastic years on the radio, and this has been as much fun. I've been very lucky. At TVAM, and was at the beginning of something that became very successful. It was a really enjoyable ride. Did again with Sky, and we're doing so again now with BT Sports. So. If we're around as long as we were with our previous television employer, we'll look a lot older than we currently do now.
I was going to say, do you foresee a time when you will actually retire together? You will work together for...
Well, I hope not.
Well, I like to think not. I can think of one good reason why we won't retire together is he can afford to and I can't. And I have to keep working.
I'll give you another one. I'm considerably younger. He was original boyhood hero.
Is there 3 years?
1.
Try 13.
Try
13.
Don't be such stupid. Try 13.
Has everything because of what happened at Sky, is that why you're not now more paranoid and more careful about what you say? I know, Richard, you blog. I've read your blog and you do Twitter. Andy, you don't go anywhere near the social media. Is that some of the reasons why? Because of
no, I just don't like it. I don't like the social media. I think there are too many idiots on it. I know that it's a very valuable place for information and communication, but there are too many idiots who are allowed to say too many stupid things about decent people who they don't know or even care about, and I wouldn't entertain it. I don't want everyone in the world to know where I am, what I'm doing. I'm quite a private person. It might surprise everybody. I don't want everybody to know where I am, what I'm doing every minute of the day. And I'm not interested in Twitter. I'm not interested in Facebook. I'm not. What else is there?
There's so many things. There's new ones every day.
I leave that again. There are some things that I leave to Keezy. He leaves to me.
Yeah.
As far as social network goes, that's his domain.
Because you're quite a queen, and
Did you say queen?
I what was the word I was actually trying to come out with? That's the one. Yes, a very keen tweeter. That's the word, isn't it? Tweeter. Having looked through your Twitter feed, there's goal results. They're all from you. You do your own. You don't have some lady in a PR office doing.
We sit where we are now at BT Sports in front of a wonderful array of monitors. We're watching probably 1 game here. We've got 6 other matches from the Premier League here. It's a service that I can provide, and I know that many appreciate.
He tweets everything.
I've seen the amount of tweets that you do. You are a habitual tweeter.
Yeah, we're just able to provide that service. It's something that if BT Sports were doing, we're not at that stage yet. Then I wouldn't be. But there's not enough of us to do what we really should be doing. We're getting there. It's a process. We're growing, and it's fun whilst doing it. But no, I have no problem with that. If I'd been tweeting when we left Sky, I probably would have been able to say a lot more than I was allowed to at the time. But I now have that independence, and that's the great joy of it.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk football, Richard. Now you're a big commentary lad. You still support your home team. They're not doing too well.
No, it's awful
at the moment.
It's awful. We haven't got enough time for me to sit here and complain in a manner that I would like to about its current
No,
owners.
you don't like the owners. Why don't you?
I don't like the owners. No.
And you're not going back until they've gone.
Correct.
Oh, really? Okay. How big a fan are you of Coventry City? So if I asked you,
I watched the first game against Swansea City in the 3rd Division South around about 1961, I think, and I've been a fan of Coventry ever since. But not this owner, not these owners, not this particular scenario. They're destroying my club, much as Pompey has been destroyed by others, and it's not a process that I can be part of. I've consistently said my piece on it. If you follow my Twitter feed,
I do indeed. I do.
I told
I'm one of your
everybody
followers.
what was going to happen. I said they were going to try and put us into liquidation.
And you were right.
It's a very simple fight. The owners want the stadium don't want to sell to the owners, and there's a third party whom could bring everything together that no one's talking to. So on it we'll go.
So do you know the words to the club song?
Yes.
Sky Blue. Can you?
I can.
Give
Let's
us
all sing together.
Okay.
Sky Blues. While we sing together, we shall never lose. Wild Wolves or Bolton it was.
Yes, that's the original. Yes, very good.
United or anyone.
Yeah.
They can't defeat us.
Yes.
We'll fight until the game is won. To the music of the Eton boating song.
That's absolutely right.
Written by Jimmy Hill.
Wow. I'm genuinely in awe and
not
impressed.
only is he a fan, he's an advert as well.
I think super fan is the nice way of putting that. I didn't think you'd be able to do that.
There you go.
I'm wholly impressed. Now, Andy, even with Google and the internet, I haven't been able to find out which football team you support. Seriously, no, I've looked. No, I've seen 3 different answers. No,
can't be.
Rangers. I've seen Aston Villa, and I've seen Everton. Are you prepared to say which football team
Yes,
you support?
unequivocally.
Yeah, Rangers. I'm a Rangers fan.
Okay.
You know, listen, I love Everton, love Wolves, the teams that I played for, and particularly for the length of time I did. But you're born a supporter of a club. Yes. I was born in Glasgow from a family of 4 boys 3 boys who were all older than me and myself, and we supported Rangers. So it was a given that when I popped into this world, I would be a Rangers fan until I take my last breath, and that's the case. We've just won another title, which I'm delighted about. I texted Ali a couple of weeks ago to congratulate him on another great win, and it's small steps for us on the way back, but we're in the 2nd tier next year, and I fully expect us to be a lot more difficult next year, but I fully expect us to be back in the Scottish Premier League the year after, locking horns again with Celtic, which might just go a long way to rescuing Scottish football again.
Yes.
So Rangers fan.
Well, that's fine. I had a real trouble actually finding out.
There's no issue.
Even with the internet, where you can find out, anything about everything.
No,
that's sorted out.
That's my team.
Now, is it also true?
Sorry to interrupt. We'll just give you this. There's a nice little story.
Yes.
About Andy getting the opportunity to fulfil a boyhood wish when he was at the back end of his career at West Brom. And Ron Atkinson, who was the manager at the time, picked a phone up, rang Andy, and said, "Who have you always wanted to play for?" And what was your answer?
Real Madrid.
Really?
Well, I knew he'd said, "Who have you always wanted to play for? You've never had a chance." And I thought, well, it can't be. I'm 31, 32, I think it was at the time. And so I thought, I said, "Real Madrid, big man." He went, "Don't be so stupid. Look at the age of you. Your knees knackered." He said, "Real Madrid, I'm coming by you." So I thought, go on then. He said, "Graham Souness has been on the phone. Wants you to go to Rangers." Yes.
Well, that's
great.
That must have been great.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was a great move for me, but for my family as well. I could take my brothers into places they'd only ever heard about as Rangers fans, and they became second place to them everywhere. It was great. Fantastic year.
Is it true you almost became Everton manager in the mid-90s?
Yes. Yeah, I had the opportunity, and when I met the then chairman, Peter Johnston, and a couple of his directors, had they said to me that day, "The job's yours here," my heart would have probably made me sign it, and I would have.
Was that close? You were that close?
Then that day.
Wow.
But they didn't, and I came back, and in fairness, I spoke to a few people. Sky weren't going to let me go. They didn't let me go. They made me an incredible offer financially to stay. So I decided to stay, and then about a week, 10 days later, Peter Johnson decided that he might offer me the job, but
no regrets about not following. You did some coaching, didn't you?
I coached with Big Ron at Villa, and I loved it. I loved the year we had together. I thought we had a great year together. I thought we worked well as a team, and we took Villa huge strides forward in that first year we were there. And then I had to make a decision whether to do one or the other. It was either full on television or full on coaching. I couldn't do both. and I decided to go with the TV at the time. It was never a decision I've regretted. Listen, I might in 10 years' time or 15 years' time sit there and think, maybe I wish I had coached my own team. Yeah. But right now, you know, I don't, and I think even less so because, you know, in the days when I was coaching and Ron was there was a fun about that as well. I think these coaches these days have less fun than they've ever had with the complex
with the pressure,
characters.
No, the pressure
just the complex characters they have to deal with. When you get Samuel Eto'o in an interview saying Pep Guardiola had the cheek to come to me and say about where my movement, and I told Pep Guardiola, when did you ever play centre forward? Don't talk to me about. I mean, I'm thinking, wow, you know, somebody should chin him every now and again and think, well, and I probably would have done, and that's just as well I got out of the game.
Okay, let's talk about the Premier League. Who's going to win this year?
I'm not straying from Chelsea. I said Chelsea in August. I'll stay with it. They're not favourites now. City do what they should. It's in their hands. It's theirs to lose. But I still think there's a little. Well, there's always a twist and a turn yet. Never as dramatic as the final day, 2-3 years ago. But there's always something we don't expect.
Well, and I, since August, have said Man City. I think they've got the best squad. I think they've got the biggest squad, and I think they've got the toughest running. You know, they've got to go to Arsenal, they've got to go to Liverpool, they've got to go to Everton.
Is Arsenal as tough as it was a few weeks ago, though?
Arsenal will still be tough, because they've got to worry, as Arsene Wenger talked about at the weekend, for the first time in 8 months, he's looking over his shoulder rather than ahead. And that's an admission that they've got to find a performance from somewhere. So, City have got to go to 3 tough places and get 3 results. They can afford 1 slip-up and still win the league. You know, and that's as long as that slip-up's not at Liverpool. And that's the thing. So I think it's fascinating. I don't think you can count Liverpool out, but I just think they've got Tottenham, Chelsea and Man City to play at Anfield. I think they can win a couple of them. I don't think they'll win all 3, and that's why I think they might just miss out.
Slightly similar question, but who would you actually like to win the Premier League? It's different than who you think will
Arsenal.
win. Why Arsenal?
Because I think that
because they haven't for a while.
Yes, and I think he's done. I mean, Everton would be my obvious answer.
Okay.
I'd love Everton to win the league again, and you know they're probably closer this year than they've ever been. Might well get in the top 4. So I'd love Everton to win the league, but realistically, I thought at the beginning of the season when Arsenal started, I'd love Arsenal because he's coming near to the end. He must be getting close to finishing.
Yes, only 20 years.
And I'd hate him to go another year or maybe another 2 to get to double figures, not having won the league again. So you know, for sentimental reasons, probably I'd like Arsenal to win it, but not just give him it. He'd have to earn it, and at the moment he hasn't done so.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
It's the same reasons as well.
For the very same reasons. Don't want him to leave under a cloud.
No.
If he's going to leave, if he wins the cup this year, it might be a very good season to leave, and let someone else take on what he has done. But he has been extraordinary, not just for them, but for our game, for English football. Huge impact, and I like the guy. Not everybody does. I do, and I'd like to see him go out on a high. So winning something this year might give him that chance.
No. Why aren't we getting the English managers through, do you think?
I think we are. I think there's plenty. I can sit here and name you now. Graham Souness is sitting at home doing nothing.
Scottish.
British.
You said Scottish.
No, British you said, didn't you?
British.
British, yeah.
British. I get in trouble with British and English a lot. So.
Glenn Hoddle's sitting back doing nothing. Alan Kirbishley's doing nothing. Peter Reid is doing nothing. There's a whole host of British coaches.
David Platt's doing nothing.
Platt is another one. A whole host of British coaches that our game doesn't trust for one reason or another, and that's what Andy's saying, that it's currently vogue, it's popular. I mean, when clubs like Fulham are going that route,
West Brom, Southampton,
yeah, that's the way it's going to.
That's when you've got a real. Those clubs should be managed. If our coaches are not good enough, if that's the case, if that's what they're saying, deemed to be so, but good enough for second string, get them involved. But right now, we've got British coaches and good lads sitting around that want jobs. But Felix Magath, I mean,
Pepe Mel.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? It's just sometimes it's mind-boggling. And I'm with Andy. I wanted Moisey to work because he was flying the flag for British coaching. And there's nothing wrong with British coaching. For me, there's no secret. We had Kenny Dalglish sit on our radio programme a year or so back, and he said people keep trying to reinvent the game.
They do.
Pitches are the same size, ball's the same size, the goal is the same size. It's basically the same game. There are different variations of it, but you can't reinvent it.
No.
And that's what we keep getting told by foreign coaches. It's just not going to happen.
Finally, what's next for you two?
Who knows? Actually,
British club tonight.
Oh yeah.
After that,
end of the season, World Cup, obviously,
yes.
Big World Cup, big summer this year, and another 2 years of Premier League football at least, another 4 years of Champions League football at least on BN Sports.
You said you're both keen to stay for the Qatar World Cup in 2022.
Oh, we'd be delighted if we were there then.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this. I said to you, it's part of a process. If it climaxed in that way, fantastic. I'm a big advocate of the World Cup coming to this part of the world. I think it's right and proper. It is. We should all get behind it, and it'll be wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And it would be nice to be here to see it.
Yeah, it would be.
It's brilliant.
But then again, others might have a different idea.
We'll see. Andy, thank you very much.
Cheers, bud. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Turn that phone off.
This is Mark reporting for Lifestyle with Andy Gray and Richard Keys. Good night.